Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
I'm Katie.
The word shabu shabu, which is a Japanese dish, actually means swish swish, which is the action done to cook the food.
I like that. That's a good fact.
Yeah, and I'm Cameron.
Are you hungry?
I'm starving.
No,
Okay,
I'm
I was
hungry.
wondering.
Oh, man.
Whenever you have food facts, I feel like it means that you're hungry.
Yeah.
Hashtag food facts.
Hashtag. Speaking of
Speaking of
hashtags,
hashtags, go ahead.
use the hashtag Geeks Corner on the Twitter or comment on the YouTube feed this evening and talk to us. We'd love to hear your comments, concerns, questions, or rebuttals for tonight's episode. If you have any arguments, we'll be happy to tell you why you're wrong.
I like to argue the internet, so
Bring it!
at me.
All right, well, let's start off with Spider-Man. Spider-Man came out this last weekend. We all went opening night, and then some people went back and geeked out some more about it.
Yep, all of us.
This
Every
is a
single one
perfect
of
time
us.
before we talk about it. I think the person that I know that geeked out the most about it was Murray the Bellhop.
Yep.
And he was there opening night, and Giddy is a, I don't know, what is Giddy? I don't know.
A child?
I'm killing
Giddy's
the
a moth
metaphors.
near flame.
Sure. But he did a couple of really great articles, both a review and then also an Easter egg article. But on top of that, he did what we're now calling Murray's Marvel Minute.
I saw that.
Murray's
Yeah.
Marvel Minute. He's taking 1 minute, and then he's speaking about anything he wants with Marvel.
Which I'm super into because I know nothing about Marvel. So there's a lot of opportunities for me to learn some things.
And I enjoy the unit of time because a minute is enough time to consolidate information without me having to spend too much time on it.
It's true.
That's right. So if you want to see a minute of Easter eggs, go to Murray's Marvel Minute, episode 1 on our YouTube channel.
Alliteration's so good.
Yes.
Yes.
It was
on
just going to be
Monday.
the Marvel Minute, but I'm like,
Nope.
your name is Murray.
Murray's
You
Marvel
have
Minute.
to have
So much
Murray
better.
in it.
100%.
Yes, it's great. But we saw the movie, some of us. If you didn't see the movie, raise your hand in here. Just who hasn't seen Spider-Man? Okay, there we go. Okay, good. No spoilers then. Katie,
Yeah.
what did you think of Spider-Man: Homecoming?
It was so good. And
Would you say it was a homecoming?
So what I would say, I saw this on 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and we saw it at 10 o'clock at night when I had to be at work at 3:30 in the morning the next day. And we had reclining seats when we saw it, and I was like, I'm going to pass out. And it was so good that I stayed awake for the 2.5 hours. I was incredibly impressed.
That's the runtime of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Woo!
Well, is it 2.5 hours?
it's 2:15.
2:15. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
But after everything else, it's long.
It was so good. It was I was very cautious because
So you've seen like 3 Marvel movies now, right? 4?
I don't know.
Well, I was just wondering
I
how they
think more
rated.
than that.
Like, how would
I've-
you rate them to the
I've
other
seen
ones?
a lot. I think my top spot has been Avengers, and I think that this is right there with Avengers.
The original one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like Age of Ultron that much. No one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have it right up there with the original Avengers.
Okay. Did you have any, did you feel like it fit into what you know of all the other Marvel movies so far in a way that makes sense? Or did you have any moments of confusion of like, well, why are they doing that?
I feel like anything that they referenced from other movies, no spoilers, they do reference the original Avengers, and
They reference a lot of stuff.
the main setup of the movie does come from the 2008 Avengers. And I think that even if you hadn't seen the original Avengers, they set it up well enough that there's not really any confusion. They're like, here's what happened, here's the aftermath, here's how it affects our story.
I thought it was kind of interesting too, and this is a tiny spoiler, is it basically takes place in real time since the Avengers movie has come out, I
Yeah.
think. I might be putting has it been 8 years since Avengers came out? That's what William's saying.
I think it was
It's not 8 years. You're going to have to
2008.
tweet at me what the answer is.
Or I could
5
be very
years?
wrong. No, 2008 was Iron Man. I'm an idiot.
Okay, so it's not quite real time, but they're actually putting it a little bit further in. But I did like the passage of time and
Yes.
and the connections with the other movies. I actually thought it was a super strong movie, and I wasn't expecting it to be. Yeah. I think if I were to make critiques, I did feel like the Tony Stark and the Happy character weren't quite as on point as I would have liked. Like, they were good, but they weren't. There was something in it that wasn't quite that normal chemistry that I'm used to, and that sharpness and that edginess, I think, maybe was missing a little bit. But that's also coming from a completely different production and writing team, and So it could have been they just didn't own the character the same way as Marvel does.
And the thing about that is that it wasn't a huge deterrent of the movie. It
not
was,
at all. This is
it was,
nitpicking.
yeah, it was a very small thing that was like, it would have been better if it wasn't like that, but the fact that that's what we're nitpicking, I enjoy.
We've got a comment on Murray's Marvel Minute that I actually think is worth reading. Murray's Marvel Minute is worth the time just for the background. Come for the background, stay for the Murray voice.
Nice.
I think that's
I
actually
agree.
true.
It's a good
Stay for the
background.
I believe, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, Murray created those background images, right? You painted them?
Nice.
Yeah.
That makes the background even better.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't have that.
Can we call it M cubed? Just gonna throw that out there.
M cubed?
Yeah,
That's
I like
complicated.
that. It is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question about the Spider-Man.
Please.
Yes.
How
Not poisonous.
how does Mr. Holland's accent hold up through the film? Because that's been a problem in other films.
Go ahead.
We talked about this the other night, and it was actually funny because I was like, he's British, right? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, so why can he hold his accent so much better than Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah.
Because our dear Benny boy for Doctor Strange, we were like, just give up. Give up. Just
go with
be
the
British.
British.
It's fine.
Wouldn't it be funny if in the next movie he just
British.
suddenly had the British accent?
Suddenly British.
You can't do it. Just stick with British.
Well, and we've had the discussion where you could have made Doctor Strange feasibly British and it wouldn't have been that big of a difference between that and the comics. But it makes me happy to hear Spider-Man did it right because there's no way that he could be British
No, he
at
did
all.
so well.
Good.
And he played a high schooler really well, too.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like... I actually was reminded of... I think it was when I was... You can nod at me if I'm correct. 10 Things I Hate About You came out when we were in high school, right, Roger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
It felt
1999.
like
Yeah.
a superhero high school movie made by Marvel that was actually really good.
That's a lot of
How
things
is
that
that
shouldn't
for-
work.
No, it was.
But when you see it, you're going to see that description totally makes sense because there's the moments in it that you could totally have pulled out of one of those 90s high school movies, whatever they were. And it felt more of that era, I felt, than maybe some of the more Disney Channel newer things. Is this...
So to translate, is it like Degrassi, the Marvel generation? Or
Basically.
Okay.
It feels very like high school coming of age story that also this kid has superpowers.
And thank goodness it wasn't an origin story.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense. It kept moving forward. We've got Megan on Twitter saying, Tom Holland is perfect all around. Will you marry me?
That's true.
So,
He is
Tom
over 18.
Holland. Megan,
I didn't say that,
you
but
can't speak in
it's
here.
fine.
That's not allowed. You have to tweet. Sorry.
It's,
Um,
not kidding.
Hashtag Geeks Corner. Bring it.
Look at how red her face got
I
there.
know.
That's something, right?
We do need an audience cam. There's some
Oh,
good
that was
stuff
good.
happening.
That was really good. There's the picture. I have never seen a brighter red face. in
Oh,
the
and it's
studio.
getting worse.
There's no camera. You're okay. It's fine.
We're just talking about you off camera, which
so-
sometimes worse.
How would you rate this? 1 to 5. 5 being best, 1 being worst.
4.86.
4.86. Tweet
there's
us what
always
you
room for
think it
perfection.
should be. I think 4.5. I'm going to say 4.5 just
I
because I
like my
feel like
weird numbers.
they didn't 100% nail Stark and
Yeah.
Happy. Those were my 2 minor complaints, and I would go see it multiple times, and totally worth it.
Can I tell a Spider-Man story?
Oh, you have a Spider-Man story.
Well, we have a Spider-Man story.
Lead us through this Spider-Man story.
So we saw it Thursday night
In
because
this really cool theater.
in a really cool theater. And we started venturing because it's a Dolby sound theater, so it's all very fancy. And they have a really cool hallway leading
The
into
theater
it.
starts in the hallway.
Yeah, because they have a screen that basically is on a loop of like Spider-Man flying through Queens and whatever.
We had no clue what we were
So
getting into.
it was our movie started at 10:30, right?
Mhm.
And it was like 9:50.
No, 10? Okay,
It was
10
at 10, and it was 9.
Everybody is like, no, it's 10.
It's very, very little story. It was like 9:15, 9:30, and
Yeah.
we see that, and there's no like anything stopping us. There's no one lined up, and we see this, and we like start walking in, and we're like, oh my god, we're all
We took
being
pictures first.
very loud, by the way. That's very vital. So we're walking in, we're like, this is so cool. You have to go through 2 layers of doors. So there's 1 layer of door, hallway, another
Yeah,
layer
it's
of
like you're
doors.
going into a spaceship or something.
Yeah.
Like, it was
They
crazy.
have to lock in the sound. And so we're all walking in, we're like looking at each other, we're laughing, and we get to the point where we can see everybody else in the theater. And we see Tom Holland's face. We're like, that's weird. Why would they have a preview for Spider-Man before Spider-Man? We look in the theater, it's full, and I see our seat, and there are people in it, and we all go, it's the end of the movie! And we run, literally take off, running. And all these people were probably like, are they okay? Because we turned a bolt, and then 5 minutes later, they started setting up things to not let people in the theater. We were just hiding
Probably
our
should
faces.
have done that a little earlier.
What we discovered, we were 30 seconds away from the literal end of the movie, which would have ruined how good that is.
It would have been a very bad reveal to see very early.
Yeah, but took off running, and then we were just like, who are those people that were in them? And then we saw people leaving.
Okay.
We were like, yeah, that's the story. Don't go to movies with us. We're terrible.
William says Spider-Man Homecoming gets a 4.25 from me. Worth seeing again to clarify a few things. And I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable.
Okay. Caitlyn decided. Well, actually, we should back up. We have a Facebook page, and we put on the Facebook page and Twitter yesterday, "Hey, what would you like to see on Geeks Corner this week?" And people responded, and we decided to incorporate as many of those responses as we possibly could.
I like
One
it.
of them was Sarah from Two Geeks Who Eat over in Phoenix, Arizona, wanted
Hey,
us
Sarah.
to do a food segment tonight. And so we always aim to please if we possibly can. So we thought we would do a food segment. We didn't know what it was. Where are the pictures on this thing? So we did a food segment.
Good.
As
We didn't.
happens
Caitlyn
in a
did.
food segment. I watched her.
So did I.
You have food. So Cameron, could you show this
I will demonstrate. Yes.
to
Oh, that's
the
cold.
camera?
Keep it.
It is cold. Wow.
That was
This is-
nice.
If you can't tell, we're warm. Let me just.
Yes.
Roasting, actually.
So these are chocolate and
Sprinkles.
coconut oil, and that's about it. And some sprinkles and
Sprinkles.
a Spider-Man
I'm just gonna.
treat.
Cameron?
It's a Spidey Sweet. That's what it is. I just can't put
It's
that.
very cold.
Here's how we made it. We'll see if this works.
Here's how Caitlyn made it.
Using the high power of technology.
Mhm. So that's what it looked like at the end. So that's what he just showed you. I think we're going backwards,
I
maybe.
love this like, story time
Okay.
in Geeks Corner.
Oh, I went the wrong way. Let's go this way. So there we go. Oh, that's what it looked like first after she melted the chocolate first, and then you dumped it in the bottom of the pan, right? Then you dumped more on the pan, and you just mixed it up, and then you made it into this. And it's delicious.
That's amazing.
So next to you, there's an ice cream scoop that you can break these into.
Do I need to break it?
Yeah, please
How
do.
do I break it? Do I
Angrily.
Hit it hard.
Well, which end do I break?
If you've ever seen Galaxy Quest, there's a line where it says, "Hit it with a rock,"
Hit it with a rock.
and that would work pretty well.
I'm gonna.
It doesn't have any vulnerable spots.
It's very cold. I like it.
So to actually make this, it probably only took, what, 15, 20 minutes?
I'm gonna break
If
this.
that, 10? Okay. And then you have
Yeah.
to get it cold. All right, we'll break it after the show. Because that's just not going to go anywhere. But then you let it cool so it hardens, and then you can have chocolate snacks that are Spidey Sweets.
Super easy.
Spidey
Super
Sweet.
easy Spidey
Three
Sweets.
ingredients. It
All
tastes
out
good.
Caitlin. All right.
Yay!
Less happy news. Steve Whitmire has left the Muppets. He
Yes.
will no longer be performing Kermit the Frog and some other ones, and that's a huge change. He's been performing Kermit since 1990. He joined the Muppets in 1976. I don't have my notes.
70 something. I can't remember what year
76
it
or
is.
78.
Point being, he worked
Had to be
directly
76. It was
with
no joke.
Henson.
Yeah.
Yes, he worked very closely with Jim Henson and then took the mantle of Kermit the Frog and several other of his characters for the last 27 years. And he has moved on. It actually, I've been wondering because they've been putting out these Muppet Thoughts of the Week. I'm like, why aren't they doing any, like, there's no Rizzo, there's no Kermit the Frog, why
They're
are they
avoiding
all
the
the old,
characters.
traditionally more Frank Oz characters or whatever? And apparently he left sometime last year, or he's been inactive since sometime last year. And this coming week, though, we will get to see the new performer of Kermit the Frog as Kermit returns with Matt Vogel performing, which is really interesting because if you are into the Muppets, you will know that he was the one who performed Constantine in Muppets Most Wanted last year.
I thought that was ironic.
I thought that was very ironic. So, what do you think of these changes now that I've done a really long lead up and
I hope it holds up. It's so hard when they have so few hands changing over for particular characters. Yeah, I mean it's continuity of character that's gonna be really tough to replicate, but I'm hopeful. I mean, obviously they've done their research, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's done really well with some of the other characters he's picked up, but so I think there's Matt Vogel's done a decent job with other characters. So I think there's a decent chance of it being good. What do you think?
It's just so sad, especially because he, as you brought up, worked directly with Jim Henson. And it's kind of just sad to see, as the person who originated Kermit, handed over Kermit to him. And now it's someone different. Not that it's bad at all, but it's almost kind of, it's sad to see it go. But I'm interested. I hope good things. And I mean, he basically already did Kermit. Constantine was Kermit with an accent and a mole.
Well, I just hope he sounds better as Kermit than Constantine did.
Yeah. But I feel like Kermit is the Jim Henson Company's child. Like they wouldn't be able to just hand it over without
Actually not owned by the Jim Henson Company
Disney
anymore.
Whatever.
Well, I want to see him take the character in a more Jim Henson direction. I think as voices age and things change, you get a different feel for things, and you could always tell the difference between. Actually, there's been 3 people that have performed Kermit the Frog, because Brian Henson did it once, and he actually is my favorite, just because his voice was so much like his father's. But I would like to see Matt bring it back to a. Jim Henson had a harsher voice, and Steve Whitmire had a rounder, smoother voice, and I'd love to see it get kind of more of that harsh Kermit sound back. That's probably a little bit higher and probably a lot rougher on your throat. But what are your thoughts?
Well, in general, I think there's something to be said for characters living beyond their creators. I mean, that's why, and this is very esoteric, but artists create things that can outlive themselves. I think that's a general thing in art. So the idea that this character is valuable enough to live beyond now its 3rd or 4th iteration of voicer, I mean, it's an honorific for the character to say that it's living this well. So in that sense, kudos to Kermit. But
I do have a fun DAPs fact, and that's that every time for the last year that I have really been friends with Mr. DAPs, is that if Rainbow Connection comes on, and it's not the Jim Henson version, he starts nitpicking, and he's always like, Jim Henson is just a lot rougher, and like he's just really Kermit.
And sings it in the right key.
Yeah, he's like, and this is just too polished to be Kermit, like every time. So it has been something that Mr. Daps has been saying for a while.
Hashtag hipster daps, hashtag Geeks Corner.
It's just really funny because he's like, this isn't the right version of Rainbow Connection.
It's not.
It's not.
This is important.
It is. It's very, but I was just reminded of
Like
that.
some kids love Mickey Mouse and others love Kermit the Frog.
You can pick 2.
Yep.
Or you can pick 1.
Yeah, one or the other.
And then like that 3rd world, there's the whole like Bugs Bunny or something. I don't know
No, we
what
don't.
that is,
That's
but-
no kids love Bugs Bunny.
Oh, okay.
They love the
Don't come at my
Minions.
Looney Tunes. This is gonna get into a fight real quick.
We've got a conspiracy theory that Constantine was a test run for the takeover. Steve Whitmire was already prepared to leave. It's a good conspiracy theory. Probably not true, but
Get on your tinfoil hats, everybody.
Woo!
I think if we had a magic mirror that we could see into things, I have a hunch something to do with the ending of the show last year had something to do with Steve Whitmire leaving.
That's sad.
Just from timing. I have 0 facts and 0 rumors or anything
He
about
put on
that.
his tinfoil.
I just have to wonder if something, or disappointment after that, or whatever.
At the very least, we have somebody who is intimately familiar with the world of Muppets.
Yeah.
And
Like,
he's been around since 1996.
Yeah, so,
he's
like-
not going to do anything dumb.
it's better than
Well, he's
like
going
we
to do
brought
lots
this
of things
somebody
dumb,
we
but
don't
they're
know.
going to be awesome because they're the
They're
Muppets.
good dumb.
That is right. All right. Well, it's time to get corny. Yeah, I just said that.
Shamed.
I am. Why don't you talk about the corn
Corn.
Okay, so
Love that.
quickly?
Veronica, literal angel, light of my life, wrote an article about the corn in Cars Land. I have to preface that with her name every time. It's in a little cup. It has mayonnaise, tahini, corn.
Ooh, tahini.
Yeah. She said it was fantastic, and it's really not
Corn
that
in a cup.
expensive. It's $3.50, I think. She knows better than I do. But she goes and she eats things for us because she's an absolute
Awesome.
peach. My favorite thing was that I woke up from a nap that I was passed out. She's like, should I write an article about corn? I feel like that's not enough to write about. I'm just gonna go eat corn. Okay. Thanks for letting me spill thoughts
Really,
on
in
you.
some ways, she has one of the best gigs at DAPs.
Yeah.
She's like, I go eat food and
Go
then I
eat the
take
things.
pictures and write
Tell us about
it. Like, that's pretty awesome.
She's literally the best.
And if you see the picture she took of this corn cup in front of the entrance to Cars Land, you would want it too, even if you don't want a cup of corn.
Now that's a kernel of truth.
I'm done.
Happy
Next,
Disneyland is having another birthday next Monday.
birthday, Disneyland!
And we thought we'd celebrate.
Yeah!
So what are we doing, Katie?
we're having a meetup.
It's back by...
We haven't done one in a long time.
We're doing a meetup.
In the park.
Yeah, we're gonna go do we're gonna meet at Starbucks at 5:30 p.m. on Disneyland's
Not
birthday.
AM.
Not AM. Don't be there that early. That's weird.
Are we meeting at Starbucks at 5:30 or are we meeting at the Carousel at 5:30?
My understanding was Starbucks at 5:30.
Carousel at 5:30.
Oh,
Starbucks, grab your Starbucks before, meet at the Carousel at
I've been
5:30.
telling people the wrong thing.
Well, now you know because y'all watch the show. So.
Everybody watch.
Yeah, everybody watches the show. So we're gonna go get Starbucks, meet at the Carousel at 5:30, ride it around, take a group picture, laugh, make memories. We'll sign your hats, maybe. We'll sign your arm. Actually, I
No,
said
we won't.
hats.
No,
No,
No.
I'll sign
But we'll take a picture
arms
with our
and you
coffee
can get it
cups. That'll be
tattooed
fun.
on
we'll
you.
do that.
All right. Anyway, be there 5:30 Carousel. It'll be great. Right?
I agree.
Okay. Other thing happening this
I'll sign
weekend as we keep moving right along, D23 Expo will be happening.
I've heard of it.
Yep, right across the street at the Anaheim Convention Center. It will be a completely jam-packed weekend full of Disney news that will be up as quickly as we possibly can. What is the one story that you're looking forward to the most that you're anticipating coming out this
Katie
weekend?
seemed excited.
Star Wars.
Yep, thank you.
Star
That's-
Wars Land, not the movie.
I mean,
I
that's-
actually think you're right that that's going to completely eclipse any movie news they might have.
I'm
but
excited about the movie. We already have a trailer.
It's
Or we
true.
have a teaser.
I'm hoping we get another one this
I
weekend.
hope we get a trailer, but I'm excited about Star Wars Land.
I am going to second the Star Wars land excitement.
Give
Do you
me-
think there's any story that could be bigger for this weekend than
If
Star
they
Wars?
tear down Epcot, like,
Don't say that. Why would you speak that into existence?
Unless they're like announcing like they're calling their shot with Avengers Land or something, and they just go full force on it. Like I think that might compete a bit, but like
yeah, if they
You
announce
think-
a new land.
Well, this comes back to the question we had a couple years ago: is Avengers or Star Wars bigger?
I think Star Wars.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then-
Star Wars is still bigger, but I'm thinking that's the only thing that can come close to competing with it as far as
Well, especially
excitement.
because that would be a new thing.
Yes.
Star Wars Land, we already know some things about. If it was a brand new thing, especially if there's been hints about it getting
so
dropped. but
everything you think that's going to be the biggest story will be theme park related.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're going to push real hard this year too.
I hope so. Yeah. Is there anything else you really want to hear about?
No. Well, yeah. I mean, there's tons of stuff in the Disney universe, and I'm sure.
I want to see Mike Peraz's DuckTales painting. I have been geeking out over that since I saw it first. Like, that's the not quite as big as Star Wars Land, but almost.
There seems like there's a lot of art stuff this
Mhm.
year, like both hand-drawn and concept stuff that they've kind of been hinting at. Some artistic direction is going to be a really,
I
really
rarely
big thing.
buy Disney stuff because I just don't have room, and that one I'm like, I might buy that one.
Ooh.
I want to know who's in. I think it's an Infinity War panel, and there's some special guest that they're teasing that they have. I want to know who it is. Paul Rudd,
Tom Holland. Just for Megan.
just for
Just
Megan.
for Megan.
He's actually coming to California to propose to Megan. I heard, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Age difference doesn't matter.
he's
No.
21.
Hmm?
That's not that much of an age difference.
No.
Yeah, it's totally fine, right? I think it's a great
Megan's what, 46, 47 now?
something like that.
Yeah.
I know.
Cool.
I think she's creeping up on 60.
Yeah.
But-
Mm, well done.
They're also going to have some stuff with Alan Menken. I think is going to be interesting.
Yes.
Especially after he kind of let slip that he's trying to generate interest for a potential Hercules stage show,
Finally.
which is something we've talked about. I don't know if I've talked about with you guys, but I know Marie and I have talked about it through the years, and a couple others, of how cool a Hercules stage show
The
could
muses
be.
would just be the best thing.
And
Ah.
like it's one of those things that's just screaming to be thrown on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping he gets lots of attention this week, and there's some movement on that because I'd be way more excited about Hercules than I would be Dumbo
Yep.
on the stage.
Uh huh. 100%, 1000%.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like crying. Dumbo's a sad movie.
Hercules can do that too, though.
Hercules is also sad, but Dumbo's like, hey, you know your mom?
Not anymore.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we should talk about the elephant in the room at that point. I mean, just
So what's on the next?
That'd be the title of the episode when that came
The
out.
elephant in
The
the room.
elephant in the
Yeah.
room.
Mhm.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
No.
100%.
Yes.
Yep.
No.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it would be very fantastic. What Disney theatrical production would you like to see that you haven't heard rumored about yet?
Well, my go-to is I would, and I've been pitching this for years. Disney, if you're listening, get on it.
Of course they are.
I would love to see, like in the parks especially, like a Powerline live in concert. I think that would sell so well.
It would.
Especially
I
because
actually agree with
you could do like a 10 to 15 minute lead up of them setting up the show
Yep.
with Goofy and Max doing hijinks and stuff, and then the actual performance happened with a couple of songs.
So would you put it in the Tomorrowland Terrace or something?
I would probably put it in Hyperion, which I know they're not.
Oh, you want to go all
Yeah,
out.
like give it a
Like,
full
really
concert
the-
experience.
Okay.
How cool would that be, though? And like you could, I'm
You're not into this?
I am.
Oh, you are.
I have it. I have my own thoughts.
Go.
Oh, what's your own?
The 1970s live action film The Boatniks. I would like to see.
I'm sorry. Let me come back from left field. What?
I was trying to think of a really obscure movie.
That's about as good as you can do.
Well, you could do Blackbeard's Ghost or The Ugly Dachshund.
But
Okay, now you're showing off.
The computer who wore tennis shoes.
I know that one. I know that
How
one.
about Monkeys Go Home?
no, the computer.
Computer award.
Am I
tennis
getting
shoes, yes.
Am I getting some good credit right
Yes, you are.
Okay. There's your obscure Disney live action films for the night.
Hashtag hipster daps. Hashtag Geeks Corner.
Once again,
My dad made us watch all those growing up.
Made like if you've seen Clockwork Orange, like just
Well, some of them you were made to watch. Like
you sit down, you enjoy Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
that was a good one too, but
There
not
you go.
Disney. Thank you. It's like American Tail. Everybody's like, "Oh, remember Disney made American?" No, didn't. Same with Anastasia. That's,
Oh,
I feel
that
like,
one's the worst.
I feel like in the '90s it was all about American Tail, Disney made, which didn't, and then after that came Anastasia, where they accidentally like, "Why isn't Anastasia in the parks?" Because
Well-
it's not Disney.
Here's some reasons.
All right, final topic for tonight that we're very excited about. We have been really going all out, as you may have noticed, for Chalk Walk this year. We are currently on a quest to raise money for this fantastic hospital in Orange County, Children's Hospital of Orange County. So we've got our Chalk Walk initiative. We've also got the Shave the Beard initiative for Cameron. How are you doing on that, by the way?
I think I'm close to 800, so
Close
I'm
to
doing pretty
800,
well.
So we're almost a fifth of the way there.
Yeah, but
Um,
we can do it. Come on, team.
Yes, and we've got another way that we're going to raise money for Chalk. And Cameron is very excited about
Now
this,
we're gonna laugh.
as we all are. But I'm going to let you introduce this.
Thank you kindly. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride and
Can you
deepest
introduce
pleasure.
it like Jack Black? Because I feel like he's...
Like School of Rock Jack Black,
Yeah,
or
Was a good one.
because now that I'm thinking about it, he's popping into my head. Anyways, go on.
no. Anyway,
Yes, it's one.
friends, we are very, very proud to announce DAPs
Incredibly
Magic is going to be putting on, for the first time ever, a concert. This is going to be
Something unlike anything we've
Yes.
ever done here. at
this
Daps.
event will be called Rock for Chalk. It is going to be held right here in Orange County, so if you're in the Southern California area, you have a very good chance of coming to the show.
And you're hearing about it first.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is the big official announcement. Welcome to the world. We are going to be featuring the wonderful Crazy Kirk and the Hillbillies. They're taking over the stage for the show. We're also going to have a fantastic silent auction that's got some amazing items. I think so far we have tickets to the Hearst Castle
Yeah.
and a behind-the-scenes tour at Aquarium of the Pacific. Some really good
Winchester,
stuff. Do we have tickets to Winchester, Mr. House?
we're working on that. too.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean,
You
there's,
got those, right?
there's
Yeah.
tons of stuff.
And we're just getting started. We've
Yes.
literally been working on this for about 5 days, and we've already got this much
It's just exploding.
awesome stuff. And we're going to take it to the whole next level, and we're going to have some really cool things happen. We're hoping. And
Opening.
what?
It's okay.
Yep, go on.
Hoping?
You said hoping.
You did.
But it's
We're
fine.
hoping.
We're all. We're all.
I don't know what I say. It's hot in here.
It's really hard, guys. But we're
So-
really excited.
All that to say is continue to keep your eyes on dapsmagic.com because we'll have more details coming out in the coming days about what's going on. And once we get it online the article. We need you to share it because we really want to fill this up, and seats will be limited, but we want to get a packed house, and we really want to make a huge difference, and if it does really well, we'll do this every year.
Yep.
Yes.
And that is something I really want to emphasize again, that this event is lining up to be huge, like much bigger than I think we even expected to begin with. But we really, really, really need you to help as much as possible, whether that is just coming. First of all, come. We'd love for you to come. But please tell your friends and family about it.
When will this be?
This is going to be on August 17th, so about a month away.
At what time?
It is going to be at 7:30 p.m. located...
For the concert.
What?
For the concert.
Yeah, for the concert. About 6:45 we'll open up the doors for the silent auction. And there's some other crazy surprises I'm not even going to get into that we're trying to line up. It's going to be a really cool thing. But really, we need your help as much as possible. If you know of anyone that might be interested, like a business or organization that might want to donate an item to our silent auction, we've already had some fantastic businesses step up, but we'd love more. So please suggest it. We'll be putting some stuff probably in the article on how you can contact us with that kind of stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really, we need your help, and this is going to be great.
And we'll rock for Chuck.
Rock for Chuck.
Yes. All right. Well, that is all the time we have for you this week. Thank you for tuning in.
If you want to watch more of this weird stuff that we do, please visit thegeekscorner.com. That is thegeekscorner.com for all of the episodes that we have all the way back.
Go to dapsmagic.com, read our articles. You can read our opinions in article form without the sweat.
Well,
Can't promise anything. But go read everything we talked about here.
And make sure to find us on social media. We are posting as often as we possibly can. We'd love to connect with you and chat with you throughout the week as well. As I mentioned before, this is all the time we have for this week, so we will see you around the corner.